Hello and welcome to another art stream. Um, this week started kind of slow. I haven't really been doing much. Have I been doing much? I don't know. I can't even remember what I've been doing this week. Something just feels like I was not as productive as I could have been. Or maybe it's just because there was a lot of things I wanted to get out of my plate, and Anyway, it doesn't matter. If we can finish this week, this would be great. I also haven't had breakfast again, which means that by the end of the stream, I'm gonna be shaking and have to call it quits. Oops, I'm going to have to call it quits there. Anyway, so remember when I was how do I do this? So unfortunately, hopefully this stays. Wow. I've been having issues with OBS. It's been jumping around getting the wrong window. So it was showing my reference window just now. Which would be scary because sometimes I have references that are unsuited for viewing by others. Anyway, so I was thinking about this illustration and decided to just crop it. I don't know how this will end up looking in doesn't look bad. Maybe it's just my live stream settings, probably. Yeah, okay. I'm going to continue with this. Hopefully I can get it done today. See, I was trying out a bunch of different things at the end of last stream, and I'm thinking just having this be a portrait, and the only thing I'm going to do is give him the pauldron like I was planning to, and also use this as an opportunity to study that, which I think will be fun. And then we can start moving into some colors and hopefully not mess that up because I haven't colored a grayscale image in a bit. Maybe erase this. Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna just go in here. I guess I should still be accurate despite this being more of, not the original intent. I should always just try to be accurate whenever I get the chance, which is the entire point of this exercise. Anyway, so gonna just take my time with this. I think this isn't too bad. Maybe reduce. I'm actually really unsure how to make the pauldrons working. some aspects, especially from this angle. I don't know. I mean, not that this is bad or anything. I just feel like it would look very different. So that's curves, and if I was looking, I have a hard time seeing certain things in 3D from some angles. I mean, I don't know. Trying to imagine how that would be. If I flipped you, would I see it better? I mean, all I would like to do now is... This is one of the reasons why I usually don't work with reference. If I'm trying to keep something accurate to reference and it's not in the same perspective, I find it really hard to imagine or to see how it looks like. But I guess that is part of accuracy practice, isn't it? Is this good? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't hate it like this. You know what? I'm going to just zoom in my reference. Okay, so now I'm going to try to make this look more consistent. Anyway, so I've been enjoying this, and I'm trying to take it slow on purpose because paradoxically, me trying to rush studies and illustrations in general always ends up with it taking more time because I make more mistakes and I have to fix those mistakes, and I feel just taking your time with it can really help improve. Let's leave it like this for now, though I feel that maybe this part would be higher. I'm not sure. I've got some Persona 5 ambient music in here. Hopefully that doesn't get a copyright claim. Doesn't really matter if it does. It's not like I'm making any money out of these, but it's really, I really hate that companies can do that. It's mainly out of spite, really. Anyway. Okay, let's just go with this for now and try our best. Alright. I don't know if I want to modify it. I'll probably modify the armor piece from the reference quite a bit. But maybe not too much, because then it will be, you know, it wouldn't be working as a study. I guess finding that balance is going to be interesting in the future. How much can I change while still calling it a study? Okay, so because I am this is a lower angle, this should be closer to each other. Oh boy. Now I know why I've been feeling like I haven't accomplished much this week. It's cause I really thought by now I would have started. It's not too bad, is it? No, but you should have, I think, a bit more space. Maybe a bit long. I can't tell, maybe. Just leave it the same. Anyway, I thought that by now I would have had like the sketch of this month's illustration done, but it's still in the idea phase. It's because I had a previous illustration that I wanted to do, and I already had that like all planned out. Like it took me almost a week to plan everything. I was gonna be this big illustration, but after doing a bunch of jobs and basically putting like nearly 2 months behind me and the idea, it's not as exciting for me anymore. And I might do it in the future when I'm low on ideas, which happens every once in a while. But for right now, I really thought it would be cool to do something more Halloween themed, or at the very least scarier or more horror influenced, I guess. So that's the plan. So I should get to that as soon as I can. But I would like to finish this, which I'm liking so much. I might actually use for just take my time and post it. It's funny, I know all the Persona 5 songs, but I haven't played Persona 5. I was actually considering playing it at one point. Then I asked a friend if there were any like same-sex romance options for the main character, for Joker. They said no. Well, they laughed at me and then said no. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I will not be playing that then. I give up. That is not my persona. I was thinking of putting the soundtrack from old MMOs that I played back in the mid 2000s. Like, I was one of those people who hopped from MMO to MMO because I found it fun. Thought it would be a good idea, and it looked like a good idea. The problem is that there are really no compilations of most of them on YouTube. So I would need to like track down the soundtrack myself and do a playlist or what have you. And I don't know if I don't have the time for that. So I decided to go with Persona, because Persona has really good music, even though there is no same-sex romance options for Joker. Let's see. By the way, my friend laughed mainly because they told me that if anything, the game was probably kind of homophobic. Apparently, there's a scene with two gay men that's in poor taste. And I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't gonna get it, but now I'm definitely not gonna. It's like I'm not. Video games, I swear, sometimes. I swear, my like appreciation of video games is kind of going the way of the anime, where I kind of was more excited when I was younger, and now I just feel kind of drained and angry, and hoping for things to be better, but they're never gonna be. So I mean, never. Sure, it will be one day, but let's see. Kind of worried about this value-wise. It has to be lighter than his values, I think, and I'm worried that I mean, this is on its own layer, so worst case scenario, I can attempt to fix it. Let's just take time here and yeah, and just do this like I mean, okay, so obviously the light source, it doesn't matter, we could just have a random light. I mean, it matters a little bit. I don't know how much I want to cheat on the light. Alright. My eyes. So I was looking at the monitor I was talking about last episode, at the XP pen something or other, the 24-inch monitor, and the price kind of went back up. So now it's much more expensive, and I probably have to wait for another sale, either now or maybe around Black Friday. But I really would like to get it before Black Friday though, which is the end of next month, which means that I'll probably be seeing the monitor around December instead of like late October, early November. So if at all possible, I would like to get the monitor sooner. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get the monitor for a decent price. And also what's this one? Because I'm confused. I think I did something wrong. I'm blind. One, that's from the main, then two of this, then the third one doesn't have, and then damn it. Simple things like this. I should pay more attention. This is what I'm talking about. I should pay more attention. Because this was me imagining what it would look like rather than looking at it. You know. Because usually I just go for 3, and there are 3 here. It's just... Anyway, I'm not sure what happened. So get rid of that. It's not looking bad value-wise. I keep trying to check my values despite already doing a grayscale image. That's my life now. Okay, so looking at this, if we go back to the, I really need to organize my brushes. They are everywhere. All over the place, I mean. Let's see. I should probably get more. Anyway, but because I've been using a TV screen for a monitor for the past year, I'm kind of worried that if I get a monitor, an actual monitor, which is, you know, inevitably going to be smaller than a TV screen, I might miss having extra space to work with. That being said, the 24-inch is 2K QHD, 2K resolution, and I'm assuming that's good. I'm not sure how good it is or if it's going to compensate for not being the greatest when it comes to size. I mean, 24 inches is one of the bigger sizes. I think only no, not only. I'm sure that others, I think there was this studio. Yeah, but mainly Wacom and some big names like maybe Microsoft or something have screens, tablet screens that are bigger than 24 inch. So 24 inches is kind of like as big as you usually, I mean, even for some people, 24 inches is too big of a screen to have on your desk. I'm not actually sure how that would work for me because I would still need to use my Nostromo regardless, so I might have to find a better, more comfortable position to put it. Anyway, but I think it's worth it though. I've been getting cold feet. It's a lot of spending. So, interestingly, let's slow down. I feel like I'm speeding up a bit too much. I mean, this is what happens when you add something later to a painting instead of having it there from the start. You kind of feel this pressure to try to get everything at the same level, which, if you're not careful, could just make you have really bad habits of rushing and having some parts of your painting look really poor in comparison. So you kind of have to. I mean, technically, I think what's going on for me is that this isn't sitting right. So if this was an actual pauldron, I think I think it would be lower, like so. And this bit would be wider, and try and would try to cover the entire thing, the entire arm. Forgot about the crown. I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think so. What do I think? Is it better? It might be, but we're gonna need to work because I feel like I'm making the pauldrons a bit smaller than they would be in real life. And again, usually I would not care because no one is gonna notice, but I'm trying really hard here to be a bit more accurate. It's gonna take me a while for me to learn how to like talk and paint properly. I'm just not used to it. Actually, I'm kind of used to it. I used to talk to myself a lot when painting. So, like, what do you think of this? Is this a good idea? Should I? Don't do that nearly as much anymore. I think now it looks flatter, but that can be fixed easily. But let's work on a couple of things. One of them being raising the edge, making this curve look better. I mean, and then working on this side. This edge is going to be a difficult one. So what's the best way to do this? Ooh, I love this song, My Homie. I love this song so much. Let's flip you, see how flat you are. Oh, it's ending. I could have that on loop. Anyway. Okay, I mean, this is something. It's not looking too bad. It's looking a bit square and flat, but that's because of the values, which I don't care too much about right now. I need to work on the structure. The values will give it form. I guess they would both give it form, but I feel like it's easier to fix issues that are value related, and if they are shape related, it becomes harder to fix. Anyway. You know what, let's introduce some values so it's starting to look a bit more round, because that would be good. So let's take light value and do this bit, not only round but more metallic, so we're going to do some highlights. This piece here has a different, I don't know if the word is galvanized or whatever, but has a different texture to it, so it doesn't really reflect the light like the top part does. It kind of scatters the light, and the one on top doesn't reflect the light in the same way either. So there is a gradation from here to here. That is kind of really dark on this side, and then slowly just fades into okay. And this, I mean, I think I'm gonna do a bit of cheating here and try to make the curvature feel a bit more interesting. So then we've got this value strictly after it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut on. If I'm go if we were being accurate, if we really were being accurate, we would move this back, we would move everything back a bit, which means that this will give us something like this. There would be a line in between this and the other value. So let's just, even if we have to break our structure, let's just do it. then we'll bring back and then we would put some really dark values here and then bring this as a line later. So something like this. They don't really connect because they're different pieces of armor, so there are 3 different chunks with their own individual lighting scenarios going on. I feel like the lightest value in the painting should at least go to this part. I should use a soft brush, I think. I also should have used a hard brush instead of a textured brush. I'm making things much harder for myself than they need to be. So there is no gradation between the values and it's looking more or less, Okay, now that we flipped this, it's kind of really obvious that this arch is going the opposite direction. Oh boy, okay. So it's going from here, higher to a much... Okay, so they are both going higher to a lower. So this should be moving lower like this. And so should that. Okay. This like so. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing of rolling this into the other one. Roll the values higher there and release this like so. I should probably use a softer brush for that. Just use the soft brush for the highlights. Okay, now I'm starting to feel the hunger. That's great. By the way, I'm not a masochist. I'm not like not eating because I feel like I need to do art before having breakfast. It's just there is nothing worth eating at home, so I would have to wake up and go to the supermarket. That sounds like a horrible way to start my day. All right. I mean, it works. Okay, so now that we've got that there, we can then try to be a bit more accurate with the design rather than just having it be a bit all over the place. I think the values are working better now for me. Let me save. So now I'm going to just build the structure on top of that and then work on the top bit, which is going to be the fun part. I was expecting to just jump in color. I don't know why I decided to add polygons, giving me extra work. Okay, so we're gonna just have the shadows. Oh boy. I mean, more or less, it's a bit. It's a bit asymmetrical, but it's fine. It's fine. All right, so I have little patience for patterns, and that's what everyone, for the longest time, every character I had or I painted would have no armor, or they did, it was just very generic. Same thing with clothes. The clothes would just be plain with very little to no texture or patterns or shapes. When you've got repeating patterns, oh my gosh, when you've got repeating patterns, my brain just kind of doesn't register it. This isn't exactly accurate, but whatever, close enough. I'm not gonna move everything here. I need to move on. I guess knowing that it's not accurate should be enough for now. what you're gonna do. Alright, let's do another one. Having a darker value here. This. I should just wing this part as well. Also, I would like a darker value to go in this place. Because I think that having some occlusion shadows in this would really help to sell the armor piece, especially around these edges. Oh, I haven't even checked social media this month. I wonder what's going on with Inktober. Is anybody even doing that? Okay, so we've got this. Maybe I overdid it. Maybe I didn't do it enough. Okay, I really need to. So if you notice, I zoom with the navigator, which not a lot of people work like that. I only started doing that because I used to work on a really small tablet PC, the Fujitsu FT5112, I think it was, and it was really tiny, and I did not have an Nostromo or anything at that point. But now I'm just used to it, even though what that means is that every once in a while I keep clicking this edge and making things really small, or this edge and making things really big, instead of clicking the proper buttons. So if you ever see my illustration go large and shrink, every once in a while, like instantly, it's because I'm trying to zoom out and I went too far. I feel like there should be I should have a better system for that at this point. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna leave that as is for now. I mean, I'm gonna just add in some extra details. I mean, listen, we're gonna spend at least 30 more minutes on this dumb pauldron because that's how this works. But ideally, we would call it quits here. So I'm going to there's a lighter value. Okay, we have a dark value there, a light value on the top. Do this bit. It's more of a flat button, so this part wouldn't. Oh boy. I mean, it's not completely flat, it just looks flat from some angles. Anyway. Pick one. Okay, so here we are with some buttons that are not quite accurate. Let's forget the accuracy. I already had to do the accuracy on the face. Let's try to get this done today. Okay, so let's zoom out and let's just try to draw. Give me a dark value brush and now try to rotate on a light value brush. And I'll try to rotate that as well. More or less. This is so frustrating. Okay, we can take this and put the dark value over here. Okay, and then now I think we should have shadows going the entire way on this side, and from there we can then start to figure out what we're going to do next. Yeah, maybe I should have. I mean, if I had painted this without a reference or try to do a study here, I would have ended up not having an interesting design, that's for sure. Even though this isn't accurate, it's much more interesting than what I was getting. But the thing about armor pieces is that I like to imply a lot of detail rather than actually show it. So that's why I'm finding this kind of hard right now, where usually I would be implying detail and not showing detail. You know what, let's just add, so this is the final bastion, and by implying detail I mean doing a lot of squiggly lines, because our eyes can't really process information. This, like when we are looking at things, our eye kind of blurs everything together and kind of makes generalized shapes when there is a lot of detail on something. For example, when you go to the beach, you don't see every individual grain of sand, you just see brown on the ground. You know, you need to like lie on the ground for you to actually start seeing grains, and even then it's only in a really small area that's in focus. In the corner of your eyes, it's still going to be blurred. Same thing with like hair. That's why whenever you try to paint hair or anything like that, and you try to paint every single strand, it looks off. It looks off because that's not how our eyes see things. Anyway, see what's going on now. I have actually kind of switched brushes to, instead of my usual textured brush, I've switched it to the hard round, which isn't what you not what you want to be doing in this scenario, I don't think. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll just try to create some. Cool thing about illustration is that you don't have to render everything. If it's not in the focus, it actually helps if you don't render everything. If everything is in focus, nothing will be. I think that's what Syndrome said. So I can just take my time here and okay. Alright, so we've got some, I'm going to just call it quits here. There's like this extra detail going on in this. I mean, if I was to add it, I wouldn't care about being accurate, that's for sure. I could just throw it in there and see. I mean, it would make the piece look more complex, I guess. I'm just trying to figure out how much I can get away with. So there are some squares here. at this point, I'm not even looking at the I'm not even looking at the reference. I'm just going on this way and then that way, like so. And having a different texture to help with the light, and give it more volume. Alright. Is it better as it was? It's something. I think it kind of works. Yeah, let's just slowly move on from this. I say that and then immediately I'm like, well, but I could. Okay, so this is what we've got on that. Now the top bit is where I'm going to make it a bit loose and not care as much about sticking to one particular thing. So I'm just gonna make shapes that are kind of working and then use that as a base for everything rather than trying to sit here trying to make it look accurate. Okay, there is this curve here I really like, so I'm going to copy that. Now I'm thinking about it, I haven't painted a dragon in forever. Ooh, now that's an interesting idea. What would an African dragon look like? I wonder if there's any dragon-like creature in African mythology. I wouldn't know. So, what are we doing here? Just taking some dark values, creating some this. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, actually making things that are like suggesting ideas or suggesting shapes rather than actually painting something. So I'm going to okay, so I'm going to yeah, this might end up looking out of place in comparison to the main illustration. Anyway. Okay, so how am I going to handle this? I think bringing a lighter value here might end up working. And what else? Oh boy, let's see. Let's create a couple of these. And then a couple of these, and I'm thinking maybe if I maybe not render this too much, that way and I do the rest in color. What about having like I like that idea. Should I? Okay. And then so this piece is kind of like bolted on top the pauldron, this neck guard area. So there's a version of this song, a remix by Too Mellow that I really like. Brings in some violins in it. Interestingly, there is a lot that can be that can be done with yeah, should I use this? You know what, I'll put the hard shapes now and then go back in and put in simpler shapes or softer shapes. Let me put the 2 mellow version of this so you guys know what I'm talking about. So it's this. Oh boy. This is a mix of washing and taking my time. It's funny. Yeah, so that was it. Okay, so do 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 do. Do 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 Okay. Interesting. So over here, following the same. So the light is always obviously in the same place, despite having multiple textures that react differently to where the light is coming from. So that's always cool to see. We could even have some. Okay, so we could do something like that, and what this means is that obviously here on the top we need to have more highlight things catching more light, which means more things in shadow, yada yada. So just feel like most of the heavy lifting will be done later. I just need enough for me to remember to do it. Though if it doesn't look too bad, I'll just leave it as is. Yeah, that's not good. It's a bad shape. Should flatten it. Okay, so take the lights texture and oh boy, so what needs to be done now? You know what? We're almost done with the pauldrons, I think. I did this to myself. Okay, so we need to take this. All right. boy. I think having if we took this black, rounded the entire thing, and then had a texture going around it. This is fine for now. Is there anything we want to do before we call it quits on the power drums? There is the top one, the top texture. I actually kind of like the crown. I haven't wanted to. I don't want to say anything about that, just in case. I kind of like the crown as well, especially with the pearl drum, but the problem is that would be a lot of extra work that needn't be there. Okay, you know what? Let's do this top bit and then we can start adding some color, see how that goes, and then go back to the power drum if need be. So there's this, take that. Then have like maybe lighter values of something going over and under this. Alright, so let's just get this in there and zoom out. Okay. I just need to make sure my textures aren't too flat here. Not the textures, the shapes rather. there's a lot of extra bells and whistles that wouldn't really add to the piece. So I'm just gonna just leave it here for now, and then later I can reassess what we have. I think taking it dark. I think that's like the fifth time I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna just leave it here and then I continue. It's because I'm not done. I find it really hard to just move on from something. Okay. But now looking at the crown. The crown, I'm all dressed up and naked. If I removed that, it would. You know what? I'll put it in a separate layer and then decide later whether or not I want to keep that. So it's either this or with the crown. See, the crown just adds so much more. You know what? If we'll add it later, we'll do it later. We shall do it later. Let's just add more values here so it's not so flat on this area, and then just move on to start adding colors to this image, because part of me feels like I am avoiding that aspect, because adding color to grayscale was something I used to do a lot years ago, but I don't do it anymore, and I kind of worry that it's going to be a lot harder now that I don't remember what I used to do or how. Who knows, maybe it's easier, I don't know. I just feel like I have done a bit too much rendering. When I used to do grayscale to color, what I would do was render less. Render, like, this is a bit too much, because that means I'm going to need to repaint a lot of this. Is the reason I had this light source here that I'm not going to touch. Anyway, so we have something here, and let's just move. So we're gonna just do I merge this down? I mean, there's no way I'm not using this anymore, right? So I'm going to duplicate, and then I'm going to there's no point to do any of this. Just create a merged, put it on top, and now we have our flat image. Let's save this before something bad happens. And now to think about colors. I don't. How does this work again? I don't know. I think how I used to do this was I would create. Oop, what happened? Paste in place, delete layer. No. Okay. I would create a layer set on one of these. I'm not sure if it was hard light or overlay or what have you. And start working in stuff. So right now we're going to work in the skin. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, so um okay. It's something. It is most definitely something. So if I'm not mistaken, what I would do as well is put things on individual layers. That way I could that's a bit too green. That way I could mess around with the skin color and values without affecting the other aspects of the piece. So we've got this right now for the skin. We're gonna need something for the hair. So probably something similar. Set this to hard light maybe, but a darker value, and it's too dark maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. After layering the base color and figuring out where we're going from there, I'm gonna call it quits and go have breakfast. Might return later in the evening to finish it up. Depending on if I have time. I do have other things to do today. Okay, we have to do some of this. I mean, I guess I should be getting some color variation regardless of. You never want to have. That's the quickest way to make your grayscale painting look very grayscaley, like you just layer the color on it, a color layer. Is by not having color variations, having everything just be this solid color. And I started adding color specifically to get away from that, so I could have illustrations that had more vibrance. And it turns out I thought I was always going to be the guy who works almost exclusively in grayscale because I don't like how color looks, or I prefer the look of grayscale. But I tried color, working directly in color, and I kind of fell in love with colors. So, but I think there's a place for starting in grayscale. There are even traditional artists that start in grayscale or monochromatic and then start glazing to get their final product. So instead of erasing the skin area, I like to use the smudge tool to push the pixels away, because that way I create a blend and it's easier to control rather than, trying to erase everything. Because he's black, I'm going to have a hard time getting the complexion looking right, or looking right or interesting. But it's worth it when you're able to do it. And you won't get it 100%, and it's fine if you don't. It's rare for you to get these things perfect at the start. Okay, so other things that I'm gonna do is create one for the eye, just giving the I knew from the start that he was going to have this yellow orange eye, maybe lighter, maybe more desaturated. Like glowy eyes. And I mean, so this is what I was talking about. Right here, I'm taking the skin layer, duplicating it just for now. Anyway, and I'm going to take the skin layer and then start moving. First, I move hue and saturation. I don't move it too much, but enough. So I have this, then I'll go to color balance. Okay, so this is what we have instead of this. Then here we're gonna let's do the same for the eyes for now. This is mainly going to be a hue saturation situation. Lower it a bit, desaturate it a bit. Maybe I needed it brighter. I don't think it needs to change much then. Same thing for the hair, value wise. So all I'm thinking in terms of color, by the way, is warmer or cooler. Okay, so one thing that's very important is to make sure that when you're doing all of this, you're constantly keeping in mind that this is not the end. You know, a lot of people think you work in grayscale, then you layer some colors on top and then you call it done. This is just a base for you to paint on top of. So there is a lot of work that's going to go here and a lot of layering and glazing before we get to anything that resembles a finished product. Now I'm going to do the pauldron, but I'm not sure what I want. This is always the hard part. When it's usually a good idea to have an idea of what you want going in. So it's like right now I'm going to give it this gross gold color, and for the most part it doesn't really matter what color I give it, because I'm going to just move the hue slider along till I find something that I like. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe cooler will be a good contrast, but I feel like maybe it will be hard to balance cool pauldrons with the warm, with a warmer, with the rest of the painting being warm. I don't know. I mean, we know for a fact that this ain't it. So let's go to the saturation, darker pauldrons. I like the desaturated look, but I mean, yeah, we don't want to go too red, because then it's kind of taken away from the hair and skin. But it seems better if I play into that value range. Okay, let's leave it here for now. So instead of this, okay, now I'm gonna just take this brush is called, the smudge tool to blend. Okay, now that we've got that, unlike what I had earlier, this is pretty flat color wise. If you see, it's just one solid color. We don't want that, so we're going to just create some variation. We don't want that heavy blue there, I don't think. Maybe I should actually go. I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure if I like. Okay. And as for the shirt, I think here is where we can actually change or give the cooler color to. So I'm going to see how a blue or a purple, something a bit more royal would look. More desaturated maybe. Good. I don't know. I don't. Oh boy. Maybe a bit more. Of this. So when walking like this, another thing I try not to do or be is too clean. If you wanted to do a much cleaner process, you could mask everything you've been painting. You know, if you're the kind of person that uses layers, you could mask everything and try to keep your values and your colors all clean and separate. I personally prefer not to do that because I like when my colors bleed into one another and it looks a bit more realistic that way. There's this digital look when everything looks too neat and separate, like the colors aren't being affected by other colors, and I always try to avoid that. Everything is in the same environment after all, so. Alright, so we'll work on this bit later. Okay, so now looking at this, the value blends a bit too much and I'm kind of missing the light tone, but at the same time I wanted this, so I like this better. I think I like the green better. What if I lighten you? I like vibrant colors, so I can't say no. I think I need to be more restrained. maybe it's a pretty good value range, I think. I do like the hints of blue. Green is my least favorite color, so I always try to avoid it, but I feel like it would work here the best to balance the illustration. And this would be our base, and from here we can work everything. Let's normal you take color pick this brush color pick, move you more here, set you back to hard light, and then try to get less blue in here, less green rather. There's gonna be a lot of work to do in the face. Okay. Everything here is hard light, so I can put them in one layer because I will eventually merge everything if I'm happy with how it's coming out color wise. So if you notice, my value has changed drastically, which is fine. It's why I keep the grayscale part flat. That being said, now once you've got this done, I would also need to do a color for the background, wouldn't I? Do I want to change the background value? I like the value, so maybe not. Maybe I'll just take how good would my magic wand tool be right now? Not very. But let's pretend it was great, and then I take color was my initial idea, so I'm not planning on eraser please, on keeping everything like this for long. So the original, I think I'm gonna put the color here because I feel like that's going to be the color of my light. I'm not going to keep the background like this, I don't think, but it's going to be good to have that off somewhere so I can remember that, that I want some pink in the background or in the light source. If you notice, I had this, which now looking at it might require some oh boy. We'll deal with that later. Before I call it quit though, there's a lot of subtle things that need to go. Where is the skin? Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to. Whoa, okay. I threw my mouse. I'm going to color pick you, and then I'm going to lighten you and change the hue up a bit. And where's my soft brush? Lighten you up a bit. Okay, so another thing I can do is take the color I'm using there, desaturate them. Instead of making them blue, if I want to cool an area, instead of making it blue, I usually just go for the saturation, for desaturating it. If you have a gray or a desaturated color around warm colors, it will look cool. And if you have a desaturated color around cool colors, it will look warm. I don't know if I explained myself. Let me just show you guys what I mean in case someone doesn't understand. Okay, all right, so OBS got disconnected. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. As I was saying, like, if you see this color right here, this gray, it looks cold, right? But if you take a cold color instead and put it on behind it, it's gonna look warm in comparison. So now the gray looks kind of warm, and here it looks kind of cold, and it's the same gray. In fact, if I just duplicate this, I think this would work better if I was contrasting this with outer gray in the background. Yay, the good song. Bum, ba-dum, bum, Okay, so now I'm going to just create a new layer. Set that layer, I'm not really sure, maybe overlay, maybe whatever. And then start adding some saturation. So places I like to add just a tiny bit more of saturation and stuff is around the nose and ears, and around the edges of the skin. By the way, I'm going to reduce the intensity of this. I'm just doing it now so you can maybe see what I'm doing better. Okay, so we take this and then we reduce the opacity. Okay. All right, so yeah. I'm gonna take that break and then maybe come back on the evening, or if not, tomorrow to work on this. So I'm happy with where we are right now. These are just the base colors. We're gonna change everything as we work on it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.